One cannot correct one's thought, should only aim the heart, make one's heart straight to the Creator. Then all of his thoughts and actions will naturally be to bestow contentment upon his Maker. When he corrects his heart to be a heart and desire of holiness, the heart will then be a CLE vessel in which to place the upite, and when the upper light shines in that heart, the heart will grow stronger, and he will add and supplement continuously. Again, exit number 1 from SHTI. One cannot correct one's thoughts, but should only aim the heart, make one's heart straight to the Creator. Then all of his thoughts and actions will naturally be to bestow contentment upon his Maker. When he corrects his heart to be a heart and desire of holiness, the heart will then be the CLE in which to place the A point, and when the air light shines in the heart will grow stronger, and he will add and supplement continuously. How do we aim our hearts to the Creator? Through the T. How do we aim our hearts to the Creator? Through the T. Beautiful excerpt. I feel like reading the entire article and to feel it. But he writes simply, if our heart will be in the same direction, if it won't be like, and if it would be in the same direction like the Creator will have a place to dwell, and we will be given for that the gift called the 10, as we will be in prayer for one another. It will aim us to the quality of bestowing the heart to tend to the Creator. Through the 10, open our hearts to think of all the frame, everyone that is called by my name, and for whom I have created for my glory, so that I will be honored. I have created to unify me, I have formed it to do good deeds. Unto me I have made him. Awaken the upper force through its silent workshop. Let's enter a connection between us in order to awaken the upper force. Let's enter a connection between us in order to awaken the upper forest. Shalom and hello. We are reading selected excerpts from the sources on the topic of continuing Congress in Innocent. Exit number 2. The study material is on the study material tab in their VOT system. Anyone who wants to ask a question and is sitting in the front part of the hall, please raise your hands so the ushers can see. Don't bring down your hand until gives you permission to speak. Anyone in the R system is requested to switch on question mark. If you have a question, please ask concisely and only on the topic of the lesson with of the thousands of viewers. While R is answering a question, please avoid raising your hand. Anyone receiving simultaneous interpretation, please put both earbuds in your ears so you don't distract the people around you. And friends from Israel and friends from the World C who are also connecting to the ARID system, please use audio mode. Friends from Israel are requested not to connect to the Wi-Fi but use their cellular data package. Please make sure the phones are off or on mute or silent so you don't disrupt the lesson. Please be responsible, be as quiet as possible with minimum disturbances during the lesson. Please avoid getting up unless it's absolutely necessary. Continuing the Congress in Innocent. Selected exits from the sources. Exit number 2. Exit number 2 from Rash. In every beginning person must start over. The acceptance of the kingdom of heaven. It is not enough that yesterday he had faith in the Creator. For this reason, every acceptance of the kingdom of heaven is considered a new discernment. That is, now he receives a part of the vacant space that was devoid of the kingdom of heaven, and admits that empty place and fills it with the kingdom of heaven. Follows that now he sorted out a new thing which did not exist before. He took that empty place and filled it with the kingdom of heaven. This is regarded as elevating a new spark into the Kusar holiness. Finally, from all the ascents he always raises sparks from the vacant space into the Kusar. It follows that from each descent he arrives at a new beginning and raises new sparks. Are there any questions from what we just heard? No. Well, ma'am. Good morning, dear teacher. Please, we can't rely on faith from yesterday. Does it mean we have to learn to lose what is most precious to us? What, let's say, today it turns out that our vessel should be willing to lose the light, and what until this day we haven't. Had we didn't have light, then us we trying to draw it, and that's the most precious thing for us. I understand that it's the most precious thing, but is it in us at all the light? There's none else besides him. Nice question, I mean nice answer, and nevertheless. Well, that's okay, that's fine, thank you very much. What does it mean to scrutinize the new state when you don't know what you're going for? How do we scrutinize the new state in the 10? If we as usual engage in the wisdom of Kabbalah according to Rabashbam and a few other Kabbalists according to them, and scrutinize what state we're in, where we need to go to, what states we probably need to go through, it turns out that our entire engagement is altogether in us being on the path. Today we will continue our work in the 10. We've finished the Congress. We want to continue this Ascent X. We are reading our continuation of the Ascent in the Congress. We feel we receive a new basis from which you want to continue. How in the work between us do we continue this work to a higher level? What should we do next? This began yesterday, but it continues today as well as I am in the lesson. I hear what is written. The first except was Rush, the second one is also Rabash, the third one as well. The fourth ones are that's already from Bassam there. So right here, these excerpts, very special readings. We didn't choose them from the writing of the Kabbalists, but rather those who came before a Kabbalist saw that it would be good with all the people, or whoever wants to ascend up the degrees of holiness, to read this, to incorporate in this, and thus therefore they write, and we use these excerpts, these sources, and are immersed in them, and it is actually incorporate in the words of our sages from all the generations from Rashbi to today, which is a couple millennia long, and that's how we do it. So we need to incorporate with the texts now and the questions of the friends and the answers, and go during the day and look at what we're lacking in order to try to implement what Kabbalists are telling us here. Yes, thank you very much. How do we raise new sparks from a state of a void? Being in a void, I read something from the Kabbalists that belongs to the general topic of the convention, and then it turns out that I'm incorporated in what I read, and these sparks either rise above through work from the plane that I'm on and reading the text. What causes the rising of the sparks? When I read the text, I'm incorporated in those words and sentences, receive them more for myself. I want to integrate in them, to truly immerse in them, and this is how we do our texts. Without reading the sources, I can't raise SBS almost impossibly. Not almost, not at all. You're not connected to, just like here we have Rabash and Alam in the Z. Yes, there are many sources. Yes, another question, how to go easily through the natural descent that comes after the Congress. First of all, we don't think about this natural descent. It's not worthwhile to remember, or not the descent, and that's why it's not talked about either. There's no need for it. If there's a need for it, or a serious need for it, let's say we want to do some other big gathering or convening with drink and all the rest of the things that happen there, then we need to see whether it's according to our spirit or not. We usually don't do that immediately. Rather, if we do it in big groups, and sweetens that period somewhat, that which we feel after. I'm asking not because I'm yearning for a state of descent. I'm asking, should we have some sort of a preparation for our next state? Preparation is that they are gathering today. It be as a preparation for tomorrow's state, the next day's state. Thank you. Yes. Hello from Brazil, from the point in the heart in Brazil. My question is, how do we know? How do I know that I'm going through one state to another? Only you could say you're now in this inner scrutiny of several things you had, let's say, yesterday or today or now, and you want to scrutinize these states, but it belongs only to you. Why did they come to you? Now you can't say that something you can scrutinize through the upper light. And in the first lesson of the Congress, you emphasized the state of one heart, and there was a strong feeling that we are really one. How do we maintain that feeling and develop it? Yes, that's our obligation, to connect in such a way that our connection that we have today now be swallowed or devoured within that state that we want to preserve and keep. And that's what we need to do. World that came here last week and were in the Congress felt like a very powerful force that they came with now in the preparation. The friends said that this is home, this is their home now. The feeling is now that the friends are gradually leaving from the world. How by them moving away? Because how can we physically maintain that one heart? What is it that I'm keeping now inside of me, in my desires, in my thoughts? I watch over the impression I had when I was with all the people, and that's why it all depends on me. I know of people who record everything that's happening here. Doesn't matter some nonsense that happens, that say, or some talks happening, no matter what, it's all precious to them, and therefore they record and take it with them home. That's good in order to incorporate with that spiritual force, that atmosphere that is here. Yeah, we got to be in one of the stands over there, and many approached us. He said it's precious to them. Many people only watch us over the internet. You see how much this path is important to them, and those who came here received something very powerful. What's the most correct way when you get a gift? What's the best way to realize it? Beginning. Now we need to understand that each of us that was here entered this place and felt that, how should I say it? No feelings, emotions. Yeah, we'll say I felt those feelings. Sensations, we'll put it that way. Then those things are now dispersed around the world, like it or not. We will take them, and that's how it will go. I am. What else? It's worthwhile to talk about it with the people that weren't here. It's best to explain and tell them that what is happening here not be bought with money, or we heard in some concert, I don't know, concert or something. Rather, these are things that can be understood only by those who enter on this path from an individual heart to the collective general heart. What people you said? Tell people those who didn't come here, or yes, those who have not arrived here, friend. But if he feels a dissent, he needs to speak about it in a they group. So yesterday in the evening meeting with my tea, we brought up this topic. Well, the friends brought it up, and I felt concerned from I feel regarding me, saying now that I heard that we have to talk about it in a big group. Is it not enough? Is my own 10 not enough for that? The 10 is sufficient, but whoever has more then more. No, well, thank you, dear love, for the ocean of love we've all received. My question is how to turn the spiritual work of the friend of my friends into easy and Joe. We need at least portion of the day, part of the day, to incorporate with that great light that was here during the convention. It won't run away, it's there. We just don't have those inner preparations for it. We don't have those desires that are pure towards him. But actually, if at one point someone were to incorporate in those desires, he would feel precisely the same state he had in the convention. Therefore, check it when you go home, when you return home. Of course, this can be done with book or record or some recording, but try to do this without any aids that sit you with the lesson. And you are as you are. Here I remember we did this many times, and it always worked. Okay. Yes, well, what's going on? Tell me how. From the how do we come from the expansion of the width of the vessel, that we come to the depth, because you told us we have to turn the width into depth in the 10. I think you can't yet perform such actions. Very soon you will be able to, and still what's important is to recreate in us a what? To generate a new us, that sensation, that we had in there convention, and raise it up as urgently as possible from our heart, because if there is a suitable time and we don't use it in order to revive within us those states that we've experienced, we're robbing ourselves by that good morning, beloved, in order to be incorporated in the righteous what should be our prayer. Ask the Creator for the friends to feel, do that, ask the Creator to hold the friends together, and everyone together will be concerned with one common state, all of them together, and then you will have very powerful memories which will not disappear with demand from the Creator to raise them to the level of our mutual responsibility, so they will feel what you felt. No, that's unrealistic, but you can ask for it if you ask for something permanently, not for the same thing but more or less. Nevertheless, a necessity will be created in you to be incorporated into those states again, so that's what I recommend. Yes, good morning. Amen. M24 Mosque Group. Through the light's thoughts come to us. How should we divide these thoughts into beneficial or destructive thoughts that disrupt our adventure? Vehement, it's not important. A person doesn't need to be too deep. Here we need to think enough that these are the thoughts of their convention. This is the thoughts about us. Our life together, we went together, we strolled around together, meaning do what's possible in order to revive within us those states we had between us. Another question, with your permission. We are advised here to begin from the vacant space. Now this same thoughts, the same information that came thanks to the light, what do we do with it? Because it exists in us, we can't pull it out. We rely only on that. If you feel that you're capable of attaining new connections with the light today, then do it. Thank you very much. Morning. Good morning, everyone. After the Congress, ours our obligation as T to help other people and other Ts. After the convention, you must care for other T and how they advance. Thank you very much, and then it'll be good for you as well. Mud. Yes, madam. Everyone, there is a friend in the T who is in a descent with the sparks of the rest of the 10. Are they also in dent? Does that mean it's mutual responsibility through the AR? The AR is what lowers the impression of what we had in the convention, certainly, but we can remind ourselves, remember, we're MS special moments that we are incorporated, that we connected not just between us, but with the essence of the very essence of their convention, and this is how we advance. Thank you. Can. Well, you said that faith in the sages broadens or expands our vessel. It makes it more subtle. What does that mean? More powerful vessel that can absorb into it all the feelings, all the changes that exist in the entire 10, and to raise them up to that degree. You was. And tell me, please, how should we work so as to have that settler vessel? That's why everyone needs to participate, and to do it such that every participant in the convention will try to at least be constantly before everyone as one at is concerned with everyone's feelings. May I ask another question? What is the relation in the work between the subtle vessel with the coarseness or the thickness that's being revealed? As great as eternity s of endless distance between them. Okay, let's advance. GU. Midwest. Midwest, we always think that the perfect prayer comes from the bottom of the heart. You just said now that when we ask for something permanently, we feel the necessity for it. Say today, my heart is asking for mutual responsibility in the 10 among the friends. Tomorrow or in a week you may ask, it may ask for something else. How, to what extent is it a different style of prayer that I begin today when the heart is asking, and then it continues for a few more days afterwards? The heart may ask for something else if you want to elaborate on it. Afterwards, what is in a person's heart? Now he can elevate that prayer to the Creator, and that's the most important thing. But that's we need to try to feel the Creator like an embryo of that state from within which it will evolve. This is number 1. Number 2, I'll remember it, and then I'll Say it no. Yechlofer. The gripter is it okay? When here is a feeling, here is a big a heart, and to about to enter that heart is needed to bestow my small stone heart to get to that heart. Okay, thank you, yes. No asking what does it mean to feel the creator like an embryo, not like you answered before in relation to its influence on me is very small, so regrettably I cannot make more efforts as if it were to fill all of me, because I feel that everything is the creator, but I don't know who he is. So how can I distinguish whether what I feel is really him? We will talk about it, and it will be you'll have a clear distinction between being filled with the creator in states where you feel only his influence on something. To then thank you. Know how does a person renew the forces new each time? How does a person renew his forces in every beginning? This is called what the mind doesn't do time. Thus the times themselves are arranged in such a way that something changes, and along with it our perception changes, our feelings, our sensitivities, and we also kind of go with the changes that there are in our general vessel. So we need to think about it, understand that it's not so bad if we don't understand right now. It won't go away. We will get back to it perhaps when we are more prepared for it, and that's how we will advance. Thank you. For thank you very much are sometimes a person. Sometimes when a person engages in the materials and the study, he notes that the friends are not exerting to the same extent. What do we need to do? How should we relate to this? First of all, help them overcome with labor and come to those states, come to that same level that you are in, and then to what extent in the next state he will be able to be with him in movements up and down. In this way come to gradually come to all the states. Okay, next. No thank you very much, dear. Are the empty void is a place that doesn't have up the upper providence. How can we find in it and feel in it that spark that can be held on to and rise in? When we attain such states, you will feel them a little differently, and there will not be such problems. Thank you. Who is next to you? What the nature of the essence of a spark, and what's the difference between it and the desire to receive? That is the sparks in what is that point in a person? A spark is a tiny particle of the light that we have to attain, and in every person there is pre-prepared that great upper light that should shine for him, so that all this is already pre-made, pre-prepared in the person, and what we need to do is only make an effort, make an effort so that what we reveal will be in our vessels. That's it. Nevertheless, a certain point in a person builds this even when there's a desire and light. Still a person remains. What happens with that person? Nothing happens with person. What happens is with the light that is revealed, the person remains the same in states. Change the sensor, the sense that feels the light grows, absorbs more of the air light, meaning the creator. In this way they grow together. Thank you, Shalom. I filled with joy, excitement. I'm here from Brazil. Feel an awakening of the point on the heart, and I wanted to ask. I want to know what to do in those states of those moments of descent to not come out of the path of my Claudia is asking. Need want to be connected with the friends, and there will be such states where you disconnect from the creator, but you always have a few friends who will maintain the connection, and through them you'll be connected to the creator. Simple, I know. Can after the varied sensations the creator provided us with, the understanding came that the change I want to happen is deeper than the level of feelings. Is that correct? If that's correct, then how not just focus on my feelings, but rather enter deeper? How to come to the correct feeling and enter the system in a conscious, educated way. The creator is giving us a connection. That connection short circuits between him and me, and to that extent, to the extent that I discover that I have a connection I can build with him, some sort of a constant line of connection. Now the question is how not to be, or what you tell me, not to be disimagining or disconnected. No, I want to hear from her, to be in an illusion, in an imagination, as if I'm in connection, but to be in a real connection. Yes, precisely, not within me, but outside of me, with the friends and with him. Yes, good for you, that's it. There are so many questions. Still no. There's a guy over there, raise his hand. If it hello. Do you said that what the mind want to time well, do that if we don't understand something, we shouldn't be afraid of that the understanding will come. You know, a few days ago we did a mirror convention in Warsaw with our great dear friend Serge from me, and he always, whenever we meet, he encourages me and says we have to go out to disseminate and work with languages, and you know how to express yourself well. Why don't you go out with it? And I'm afraid that I don't understand something all the way, and if one of the students were to ask me, I would answer incorrectly, and I think that it's so important and scary to divert someone from the straight and narrow path, and more than that, the longer I'm on the path, you feel even that you are less, and everyone I ask says to me, oh, don't worry, that's normal. I would like to ask you, because I think it's not just my problem. Tell me, please, is it worthwhile to be fearful of not having a 100% understanding, and because of that, keep myself away from dissemination? You have no right to disconnect yourself for an dissemination. Rather, you need to constantly renew and re-engender the connection between you and the creator. You must know. Thank you is feeling the light, feeling the creator, basically. Yes, her is making a parallel here equation, or parallel I can't, and is it influ equal I can't equal sign. Is that what you asked? No, I'm asking about what Rar said, that there is a difference between bore influencing us and being felt inside us. So I'm asking if feeling the light is the influence, or if it is insight. It comes to us from the creator. He wants to say there's the influence of the creator in this, their creator's relation to me. So, yes, okay, thank you. Okay, let's continue to X number 3. Yes, exert number 3. Any overcoming in the work is called walking in the work of the creator, since each penny joins into a great amount. That is all the times we overcome accumulate to a certain measure required to become a CLE for the reception of their abundance. Overcoming means taking a part of a vessel of reception and adding it to the vessels. The bestow, it's like the screen which we must place on the coarseness on the art. It follows that if one has no will to receive, one has nothing on which to place a screen. For this reason, when the evil inclination brings you as foreign thoughts, this is the time to take these thoughts and raise them above reason. This is something one can do with everything one soul desires. He should not say that now he has received rejection from the work. Rather, he should say that he was given thoughts and desires from above, so as to have room to admit then into any questions. Yes, through a week here, in my heart became softer. I said hello to the friends. Tomorrow I return to Italy. I will be split between 2 lives. Here one is the spiritual life, which means that I'll have my 10 and the lessons and my corporeal life, and then I have to robe myself with the more tough clothing just to not be, because I won't be able to behave out there like I do with my friends. In my work I need to manage a team and operate according to different rules and laws. How can I balance it and keep this hard but sustain it just for the sake of the friends? Much we will begin to understand this gradually. Okay, thank you. Teacher Salam Rar. Hello, this feeling the thoughts of the friends, do it mean I'm sorry? There is it just a game that I'm playing with my ego, or is it neither? Things you feel, the life you feel maybe, are after all the impressions that come pass through the Creator and His relation to you, and afterwards they come down to you. Thank. That's the way it is. Okay, right back there in the end. Morning. Friends, when bad thoughts come, how do we raise them to whole? What is that action in the 10? It all depends on how connected you are to the 10, on how much they elevate you, or did you bring them down? You understand it is a calculation that is like you might remember from school when there are several conditions and we want to find something that is common between them. So, I think we can depict it this way. So it turns out that I can prepare myself for that state to go through it quickly if I perform the correct actions towards the friends relatively quickly. Thank you very much. In the beginning of the lesson I wrote down that you said scrutinize my states with the help of the light. What does that mean, with the help of the light? How do I scrutinize it? You've been studying with me for maybe 20 years, not exactly, but thank you, now you're talking about it. So the next question, why do the Creator erase concepts that we had inside of us already so you can recognize them? And you do. I need to think of the next degree or remember the previous one, sir? You don't need to remember anything to be reminded of anything. Good morning. Or how should we relate to the convention we just went through as an action, as a preparation for the work that we will have in the 10, or to go back to some pleasant moments I'm afraid to be stuck in? That of course you might get stuck. That's obvious. The most important is a constant and more an increasingly precise definition of the final goal. That's number 1. Number 2, we need to constantly determine to what extent the 10 that I'm in succeeds in shortening the distance between me and the Creator. At least, that what does it mean to shorten the distance between me and the Creator? Those who are in that understand what it means to shorten it. You answered that a person work with a 10 in this. We wanted to ask person needs to work mechanically without an open heart, and he doesn't do that, has no strength, and so is that the state of lowering the 10 and not doing, meaning not doing the task that's upon me to do. Yes, thank you. Wait, I will continue that same question. Do I understand correctly that this convention is deeper work, and without expanding it we won't be able to advance this? Congress is bringing you, or should bring you, into correct personal attainment of the Creator. What does it mean personally, specifically for you, for each of you, for each of us? Yes, take the microphone. Hello, rar, hello world. Kletch. 62 convention went by and it wasn't simple. It was like this inner battle. Everyone's running from their ego. It's like a matter of life and death question, how to hold on together to the state and not run away and keep that calm and patience. Yes, if we had precise handles that we could turn and intensify our participation in the revelation. These papers, here's these tablets, then we would understand what it's about. I think we need, if you succeed, to gather among yourselves for another once a week. All everyone together, not physically of course, virtually and then we will answer. Right, talk about what is close to us, so let's try to work it out this way. We have a very good understanding here about the essence of the group, and it would be a shame to lose it. Okay, let's see what else is there. Questions? Yes, there are a few people there. Let's answer them. We are from Czechoslovakia. Ahead, is it possible to achieve true bestow from the heart? In our 10, we give the friends whatever we can, but we feel it's not completo. We conducted a workshop and received an answer. We, in our language, we say that the back door has to be shut. In Russian, it's something like burning down the bridges so you can't go back. Okay, what else is there is possible to ever shut the back door and not go back? If you have serious angry dogs, tie them there, and then you can learn. You can engage in the Creator, and in the bank you'll be certain that they will not run away anywhere. Then call me. That was that. Otherwise I'm very much afraid of them. What? Next, no lady, they're on the first row. The feeling is that we are taken into the open ocean with our tens waters. That degree how to continue living and reach the destination, the creator, the T is like a little sheep that can cross seas and oceans, and every group you have it's the crew on the dock, so you can cross the ocean without a problem. We will continue studying among friends, yeah? Maybe. Okay, so now let's start summarizing the lesson in the tens, and we'll continue right away with studying among friends. So now, summarizing lesson in the tens. I'm in the gratitude for this post-Congress lesson. I feel the friends, mostly the new friends who still have a very strong impression. It gives a lot of greatness, and it also feels our points with few to summarize it, that the light always exists, the light that was in the Congress and the light in general, and we should simply, by connecting to the right vessels, we can always connect to the light, be incorporated in it. Detected Brar gave us a nice piece of advice. He said you can do it through the book, through all kinds of means, but the best is to search for that state inside your heart. Can ye? Mostly the impression is that the friends are at war, the war of their inclination. They struggle to deepen the common feeling we've built in the, and we're fighting not to lose this degree, just to keep going and prepare ourselves for the future, how to keep everyone in the feeling of the common heart and only expand that feeling across the world. I think this is the common feeling that everyone feels. Dose of light that we received in the Congress. Now we want to process it, to expand it, to deepen it, so it will expand and deepen our vessel. Are taught about it during the whole lesson, about the impressions that we went through. How do we regenerate this impression and create it anew? It's less a matter of remembering it, more searching for doing it through connection to the text, and as usual, through keeping it internally, praying for the connection that we have with the friends, these impressions that are with us from the Congress. At least to me, there is something new, that it's not only the 10. Certainly think about how tens can help each other, and generally the CLE, just to give the spirit of confidence of this connection, that it doesn't disappear at a present, and strengthen the friends, and that state or reaching Lishmore is not for me or for him, or it's our connection that we need to strengthen more and more. As you said, the friends from the world. CLE, all the questions all come back to how do we come back and renew our connection with the 10 and the changing states, what the mind doesn't do, time does. There were some things that I extracted. The most important thing is to elevate a prayer to the Creator. We have to feel the Creator as the embryo of that state in which He develops, and the life that you feel following all impressions that you feel pass through the Creator, and how He relates to you. There are all kinds of questions, and you realize the friend truly want to remain in the connection, and this is what you have to do to continue to hold on to the connection, not to lose it, not to let go. There are many things happening. We're going to have a series of congresses in May. We need to keep riding the wave. There's a very special feeling between those who go through the path from the individual heart to the collective heart. Also, Rob talks about this importance of a now scattering across the world, and how it's important to continue talking about it for all the friends who go back to their places, and generally just any friend who experience this from wherever they are in the world, and the importance of just spreading this feeling and talk about it, and do another meeting where we review what happened here and continue the feeling of one common heart. I also feel the need to have a meeting of the 10, I don't know, to some kind of a summary of what we went through and the next degree that we're continuing towards. It feels like I was given an inner restart about the work with the 10. I don't know if it requires some change, but it feels like there is a new degree, and we need to scrutinize together what is it that we need from each other, and what's the right way to work internally and externally, how to change our daily orders, or maybe strengthen certain things. There's a need for a new step. I don't have something to say if I heard the exercise correctly. actually said that we have to try hard. That without any accessories, he said. Through the text you can do it, or through songs, but try without any additional means to connect to the state that we had in the Congress. Connect to the great light we had in the Congress more from the lesson. The most important thing is a clearer and precise definition of the final goal. Secondly, to always determine to what extent the 10 helps me shorten the distance between me and the Creator. This also joins what Danny said about coming together and maybe doing a more deeper conclusion. Together everyone kind of was on his own trip in the Congress and in their own roles and so on, and just to meet and review and share together I think is a necessary. Read from Ra's words, maybe add something. What is now in men's heart he can elevate it, elevate that prayer to the Creator. That's the most important thing, as we say that the Lord is high and the low will see. That should live in a person we need to try to feel the Creator as the embryo of that state from which it will develop. His part keeps developing, it's always and its right to exist is that we are living together in our vote between us, and we give this power within us and also outside of us. They asked how to continue living and reach the destination that is the Creator of. Said you're like the 10 is like a ship that can cross oceans, and all your team is on the deck. And also Rob talked about the prayer. We have to be consistent in what we're asking for, and at the same time what we have in our heart at the same moment we raise that as well, and with gratitude for this gift, the Congress and the friends. We will send them with a greeting, safe travels, and also getting back home to the other side of the world is also not simple, and ask the help towards the next degree. There was something there about angry dogs, I don't quite remember. Towards the end was about how to shut the back door, and so are said to put some security. Dogs.